Wait, where's my camera? Here it is. What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we are going to restore Kraid's Lair from Metroid Zero Mission. This comes to us as a commission from an anonymous donor. And so, yeah, we'll keep that anonymous. And I've got the MIDI, I think I ripped it from VGM Trans or something or other. And so I've got the MIDI here. And if I drag that in and choose MIDI out with Fruity LSD, then I can go and take the DLS file, which VGM Trans gives you, and then play it like that. So here we go. Cool. So this song uses first of all the choir from the sound canvas, which is the same choir that's used in Donkey Kong Country 2. So I'm going to pull that choir from Donkey Kong Country 2, but the original place the sound canvas gets it from is Best Service Classical Choir. So that's also the one from Donkey Kong Country 2. So that's the one we're using because they happen to have the comp. Now the strings, I'm using the EMU strings, and that's what I think was used here. Pulling that from Yoshi's Island because although Yoshi's Island gets it directly from the EMU Proteus 1, I think. We're gonna I just pulled it directly from the EMU CD line for quality. And so this one, I don't know if this gets it directly from Proteus 1, but or just from a Proteus 2, but it's pretty much all the same thing. So, that's what's in there. That's what's in there that I can recall. Also, there is a synth which comes from the Korg MS 2000, but it's a simple synth, only having two frequencies. It's just this simple alien whistle, which I've applied. I've applied vibrato and volume attack to, and I've also added. There's it's just two sine waves, and this one is specifically at 4.5 hertz from the original one. So from the note which it is played. So it's just. And so that's also I've applied reverb and a little bit of chorus to that. So that's pretty much what what the patch entailed in the original, because in the MS, here's a sample of it. It's just that's really a really high note. So in this thing is just no, pretty much the same thing. So well, we can just take the MS2000 part out. I could just call that pass mind. And let's see what else. There's also a couple of patches which I recognize from. Oh, also from the sound canvas, there is the timpani, Roland timpani, which is also used in Donkey Kong Country 2. So I can go pull it from there. Let me put this in alphabetical order because contact should also. Oh, that's in drums. I forgot. Okay, so that's there, and then there's also the crash, the Piatti crash, the orchestral crash, which is also used in Donkey Kong 64. And I'm not sure if it's the one used, because I think, I think there's two. I think the ones that are used. I think the one used, it might be the one used in Donkey Kong Country 2 actually, because that's a different crash. But they're both Roland, but I think they're a different sound set. Or they might actually be the same one, like I might have not needed to even have that. They're probably different actually, or it could just be the same one. Yeah, I think this one fits better actually. So we'll drag that there. And let's see, what else do we have? Other than that, I think we have a something for like another choir. There's a second choir from the sound canvas, which I don't know if it has any equivalent, or it's derived from another sample library or what, but there is the church choir. There's two different choirs here. One is the church choir and one is the regular choir. So this will have to go from the sound canvas. I don't like using the sound canvas because the sound canvas in and of itself is a low quality sounding machine. So it's always better to get things from sample CDs if you have the option. But where is the church choir? No. They also do not put things in alphabetical order, so that's a little bit confusing. They don't even have all the choirs together in one place. Church choir, here we go. And I don't think this is the same thing as the... Let me put that. Because the sound canvas VST is really low volume, so... Yeah, this is more of like a, the church choir is more of a Gregorian choir. It's more of like the Gregorian way of singing, and the Best Service Classical Choir is more of the classical way of singing. Which coincidentally sounds a lot like the choir used in Super Metroid for the SNES, which I don't think that's actually probably not a coincidence. They probably chose it specifically for that purpose, but let me see, where do I have that choir? Let's see, is this the choir? Let's see. That's not even opening here. Let's go. No, that's not it. That one choir that was based on a orchestra hit. That one. So this is also a Gregorian choir. Oh, that's not, it's not the same octave actually. So it's the same style, it almost sounds like the same sample, but... And this one's not even, it doesn't even use the... There we go. Quite interesting. So let's call this Gregorian choir. Or just church choir. Church choir is less. Gregorian choir is too much letters for the space. So anyway, beyond that, there is a number of instruments that are actually that I recognize actually from Super Metroid. One of which is the synth bass. There's a synth bass in there that I recognize. Mini Moog bass, that might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. Is that not playing? Alright, see. Where's that synth bass? There it is. No, maybe that's not the same one. Oh, it might be. I think it's a different one, actually. There's another synth bass in here. Well, there's also the maracas. I just found that one. So that hi-hat there is also the maracas from the thing here, because there's this line, and then in the game there's, although it's an octave, it's in the wrong octave. Let's see. Oh wait, no. Maybe that was right. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think it is. It's just shorter. So, this might be a different synth altogether, so I'll have to go, might have to, like, recreate that. Oh, that'll be a hard one to recreate. That's kind of complicated. I could have sworn there was, like, more, there was definitely more synth basses than that. I kind of want to bring up, because I think it was that, I thought it was that synth bass from Brinstar. Something like that. But we'll figure that out later. So anyway, yeah, let me go in, because I do want to figure that out first. So let me save this. I'm gonna save this as I'm gonna save this project, and then let me go back into, because I'm pretty sure there was a song that had a bass just like that in Super Metroid. what would it have been? Was it... I think it might have been Boss Confrontation. Let's check that one out. Boss Confrontation 1. Welcome. Welcome, Lorna Lara Tonaloka. Hi, alguien. Yes. Indeed, hi, alguien. Welcome, Zabelunam. Thank you for $10. $10 from Ziablunam. That's what one I'm going with. Wow, I too want to restore like 5 or 7 songs from Super Metroid Arcade. They're already in Super Metroid Instruments. You're already stored, and I have minis of them. Should be a piece of cake for you. Well, I don't think they're all from the. I don't think they're all from. What's it called? From Super Metroid. I think like a lot of the instruments are different. So that'll be the difficult part. Let's see. This one. Definitely not that one. What was that? I think it was. Okay, the one used in this one was just that one. Or it might have been, was it that Brinstar level? Let's see. Question mark? Why? Okay. And then, of course, it's not showing me. What is this? It's a Contact has a really bad, like, system of, like, finding samples, so I have to end up holding its hand for stuff like this. Or I just have to find everything myself. And I have to reconnect libraries every single time I open the song, pretty much. Bell Orchestra. Wait, what is... Oh, this is Secret of Mana. Why am I in Secret of Mana? Wow. So... yeah, it's just like... can't find anything for itself, pretty much. So where is that synth bass, then? Ah, it's Dexed. And it's not playing. Why? So this is like a some kind of bass patch that I have. Let's see, bass 1. But it doesn't play here because it's like at least I know what the patch is. And then there was the only other one I remember is the opening. Opening had like a bunch of similar stuff, like 2 different similar synths. So bass number 1, and then it was the lead. Okay, so that pretty much gives me a good idea. So now if we go back to Kraid's Lair, I suppose it could actually be a different synth. Or not. It could I think it is that synth lead. First let's try Dexed, like that Dexed lead that we used for the other one. So that was in ROM A. Yeah, maybe not that one. Maybe, I think it was the other one. The synth lead. Oh, did I not even save that as a preset? Or maybe I just saved it as... No, I actually didn't, so let me... Let me see if I can go back to that thing and save it. Hey, you know what? That one's actually not the same thing either. I'm surprised. This is a different sample. Okay, we'll just omit that for now, and I'll take care of that later. Okay, now, so to start off with, we're gonna do... This is the Gregorian choir, and it repeats twice. And then you have the strings. How much does FL cost nowadays? Well, I don't know because I haven't bought it nowadays, but when I was buying it, it costed about $200, I'd say. $200. Welcome, YX Cali. Thank you again, Zebolo now. Talking about a game, Super Metroid Arcade. It literally uses the Super Metroid sound font for its custom song, so you'll barely have to work. Ah, okay. Whoever requested this has great music taste. The Melee version is the best song in the stacked soundtrack. Nice. I've had Melee, but I don't remember the music very much. I remember having Melee as a kid. Personally, like Fire Emblem, Pokey Floats, and Earthbound rather than Brinstar Depths. Nice. I don't know any of those, but yeah. Okay, so this is strings. You have string, and then you have a synth, a simple synth here. And you have a high-pitched choir here. Is this the... This is a different sample, but... I can't even tell if that's like the Gregorian choir or the classical choir. So far, I haven't even heard the, This is definitely the Gregorian choir again. That's the... No, this is still the Gregorian choir. I have a sneaking suspicion that this song doesn't even use the classical choir at all. Okay, and then it just repeats. So, what we have here is this sort of loop of the Gregorian choir. And it looks like there is like this whole thing. No. So that also is part of the Gregorian choir. So what we want to do is say, I'm going to separate this into, I'm going to find first empty and call it choir. And then we're going to add this here. But it has to be at channel 1. Okay, and then And then I have a feeling this one's going to need a separate channel because it's so high pitched. So it's going to need to be mixed differently. So this is loop here. It just repeats twice. So, first I want to do the strings. I should probably do it in order. And it looks like this song is encoded in the wrong timing, because you have like one loop of this is a bar and a half. You can't split things into a bar and a half, so it probably means that it's just, let's see, let's see, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So what that means is that this song is going to have to be, maybe if we put it in 3/4, it'll make sense. Yeah, so at least it's got the loops right now. If I put this, if I put this in 6/4, does that make it better? Because, okay, yeah. So now a bar is a bar. So at least if I put the project in 6/4, it'll make more sense. I go to the settings and then go 6/4. So now the whole project will be at 6/4. I can pretty much delete this. And so now let's find first empty. Call this soprano choir. And then I'm going to go, because I don't know if if that should be a different line, because the whole choir, let's see. Yeah, that can just be with the rest of the choir because it's playing by itself. It's a solo at that point, so I would like to go into, oh wait, wasn't I going to get the strings first? Yeah, that makes more sense. So the strings, this loop of the strings is here, and then I'm going to find first empty and call it strings. And then I'm going to go to contact here, paste that there, and then I think it was channel 2. Alt C to change. Okay, but it's really loud, and I don't need it to be that loud. I think it should be about 12 dB. And I'm gonna remove, actually, I don't think the choir, the regular classical choir is in here, so I'm just gonna remove that for now. And then I'm also gonna put, like, go and get those strings again. And this time I'm gonna call those strings bass strings in the first thing. So, or actually, it would be more apt to name these with the range. I think this is in cello range or viola range. Probably violas. So let's call this violas. And then call these basses. I know there's going to be bass strings in here. Yeah, so that's there, and then we have this synth here. So pretty much this song, it seems like so far this song is mostly a series of repetitions. Like it's repeating this part twice, this part 4 times. It has 4 bars of a 2-part repetition and 4 bars of a 1-part repetition. and then two bars of a 1-part repetition, and then yeah, it's a lot of repetitions. Let's see. This part we'll find first empty and call this synths. And so for this synth, this is a half saw, half square wave. And so, yeah, that'll be pretty easy to do. Welcome, Nessa is offline. Welcome, Ipwifley. Welcome, Gamer XT. Metroid music is always good, yes. Quite pleasurable. Green Ridley. Okay, so for this synth will be super easy, barely an inconvenience. So you want to go up in Harmer, and Harmer gives you an easy way to fuse a saw and a square. So, wait, no, that's the preset that it comes in with. I want the default. So you just drag this knob in it to the center. But that's still not soft enough. And I think it's more erring on the side of square. It's gotta be, let's see, let's turn, it muffles it a bit. It's got a low pass on there. And then let's turn the width up so it doesn't have quite so steep of a slope. Yeah. And so now let's hold Alt and push up till that synth goes all the way up here under the MIDI channel which concerns it. Let's call this saw square. But that should be a little brighter. So let's turn the frequency knob up. That ought to about do it. Actually, no, a little darker, but turn the width up. It's also, the timbre is a little bit different. Actually, I think it has a little bit of it sounds like it has a little bit of triangle in there. So let's go to Citrus instead. So Citrus gives you the power. So if we turn this from a 2 to a 1, it'll give us the proper octave. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so beyond that, I think there's a little bit of there's like a little bit of filtering going on over there, where if you go add in the filter, and then adjust the shape just a little bit. should give it the same correct character. Oh, but if you play it up top, it gets brighter, so... So let's put in our samples, and let's call this synth lead. And so we have that versus... Sounds like it has a good pluck to it. Just trying some morphing techniques. Oh, that makes it sound better. Yeah, that's perfect, actually. So I think we can make this a little brighter. Okay, that's exactly the character we want. So let's give it a pluck. And let's set that to be, let's give that an envelope. Turn the attack all the way down. Turn the sustain all the way up and give it some release. Okay, now let's compare that again. Okay, I think we need it to be brighter. Oh, also, I think the pluck is not giving the desired character. Okay, nice. I think maybe we might be able to do... Yeah, if we do without the filter, that'd be good. Oh, it also needs some EQing, because I can hear there's like a lot, like a raised mids in there. Yeah. Well, we might also be able to do that. Yeah, it's something like that, but except that it lets it through the filter a little bit. Yeah, but that's probably better done with EQing. So... yeah, let's give it some saturation. No, it's probably better without that, to be honest. I think the rest will have to be done by, so if we put effects on it, we can give it a general bit of chorus. And some reverb. Nice. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, you said my name right. Nice. First try. Wouldn't have guessed that Super Metroid was ported to arcade. I didn't know that either. I feel smarter just listening to Sam talk about music stuff. Nice. Welcome. Yes, I love nachos. Okay, so let's see what we have next, which is this choir. So this is the really high-pitched choir, soprano choir. I think that's more like piccolo choir, which doesn't exist. But yeah, so this, we can have fun with it and clone this because we need a new thing. Let's call this piccolo choir. And so this, we'll name it for the range. This can be like tenor choir, which can also span like a bunch of ranges. Tenor choir. Piccolo choir, which will be here, and then we'll go all the way up. Alt-C. So we don't want so much release on it because it's blurring the line too much. Let's take off the reverb, and then let's turn off the release. Pretty much. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we have some more choir notes here. Okay, and then you have another shorter one here. And then 3. Okay, so this is all pretty much unique. I'm holding Control and Shift to select all this without ruining the other selection, and okay, I think this is a repeat of the first one, but now you have more notes in there. Yeah, you have an extra set of notes, which I believe this is also a choir. Yeah, so it repeats again, but with an extra line of notes. So we will actually put that. Oh, it ruined my selection. Oh well, let's see if I undo it. Probably works with that. Yeah. Okay. So let's Control Shift and select that. Control Shift and then select one of these. And then this is just more strings. So that's one. So they have one long choir line in here. And so we'll go and add this to the tenor choir. Although this a lot of this is in the bass, and I might want to keep that separate for mixing purposes. Alt-C to change. Okay, so I think I'll probably want to keep that separate for mixing purposes. Let's create a bass choir channel. Paste that there, and then we shall call this bass choir. And let's put the piccolo choir on the top. Nice. Okay, so now we can go for the next... Oh, what is this? Now we can go for the next channel. So you have the strings again. This is like some cellos, I think. Right, welcome, Red Beans and Rice. I feel like the Smash Bros. Ultimate version of Kraid's. Oh, I like the Smash Bros. Ultimate remix of Kraid's. They're the most nice. Okay, so this is pretty much cellos. So let's go and add another instance of the strings and call it cellos. Okay, so this is pretty much all strings. Spooky. So I think, and since these are kind of like existing independently, let's, instead of just making a pattern called strings, let's call this violas. And then I'll make a channel called cellos. So this will take 1 bar of this. And basically copy 1 bar of each loop. So let's find first empty and call this cellos. And then I'll go to contact. And then I think it should be channel 4. So Alt-C to change. There we go. Except that it's going to be really loud, so let's turn that down. Oh, this is like the 6-7-1 chord progression, which Gangplank Galleon uses. Same thing, except it's in E instead of D. Okay, so, and the one thing to keep in mind is that these strings are always panned to the right. 16%. So let's go to into contact and say all this 16 right. Now the next part in the sequence is going to be these 2 loops. Paste that there and Alt-C to change. So kind of what he's doing here is he's going like no wait, it's like so it's kind of like a chromatic line because these 3 notes don't make any classical scale. So it's like, and this part, this like downward motion here kind of gives it a spooky quality. And then it goes a tritone down to B, so that makes it even spookier. And then he kind of goes down an octave too. So now he's kind of sticking to the key of E minor with this one. He goes after doing a whole chromatic thing. I should say he's going back to E minor. Anyway, next we have these basses here, and that might be a separate patch. So let's go. It's really just this one long note. So let's go find first empty, call this basses. And then we are going to put this into contact. Whoa. Let's take that to channel 1. Yeah. Is that gonna last for the duration of the note? I think it loops, so that's good. Yeah, it does. Okay. Nice. I think the drums are messed up and it sounds too graceful. Ah, in the Smash. I've never heard that version, so I don't know. Anyway, that concludes that channel. And I think the basses are also going to have to be panned in that way. Let's configure that. Nice. Okay, now we can move on to more choir. Two bars of that, and then you have that bass, which I think that bass will be fine to recreate. I just don't exactly know what it is right yet, or what, like, it's gonna might be a little bit of take a little bit of working to create. But you have choir, and the tenor. I think this is gonna fit into the tenor choir quite nicely because it's. But I do want it to be a different channel, so let's send that to channel 2. Alt C to change. And then we have to tell the plugin that, hey, channel 2 is another choir. We have to go into edit and then go, instead of piano, go to ensemble, scroll down here and try to find the church choir in this massive repository of sounds. Church choir. Nice. Turn off the reverb now, and I think I have to turn off the reverb also to part 1. Yeah. And there's going to be a third part here, so I'm going to have to do that, configure that to be a choir, church choir. Just preemptively. Okay, so let's take these two lines here, and this will be is going to be our synth bass. So let's go find first empty, call it synth bass, and then we will add a. I think this is best done in Citrus. Citrus does well with these kind of basses. But it's also like it also sounds like a Moog bass, so maybe I could use my Moog and my Moog thing that I have. What is it? Surrealistic MGM Plus. Actually, I would probably feel better doing this in Citrus. So let's set this to a default patch. Turn the frequency to 1. So, the thing about this synth bass patch is, well, I have to make sure the channel is pointing to there first. So here's the note I want to focus on. It's in an octave, so there's an octave acting here. Let's see. Either that or it's just a sub bass. Yeah, it's like that, but with a sub. And there's even another one up though, like way up there. Why did it change on me? Like, don't change. Sometimes it just spontaneously changes stuff. Then I have to tell it not to do that. And so I think what needs to be done is to give it unison. No, but it has to have a plug of sorts first of all, so I think I should introduce a filter first. So this has to go. And no release, I don't want this like doing like that. And it sounds like there's another octave up there. So that means I need another one of these. And this needs to be a square wave. But it needs to be like more subtle. And I need a really bright like hit on this. So I'm making the slope quicker. And then I want to introduce distortion. Although this is wave shaping, not distortion, so I'm not sure that's going to work very well. And that's, I think, not really sure how to get that high, really sure how to get that metallic sound to it. It might be FM synthesis. No. I'll have to shelve that for now and like look into it more later. But let's move on from that for now. Okay, so we have a wire line. This is more like altos. So let's go into the choir and let's duplicate the tenor choir and call this an alto choir. Alt up, because alto is higher than tenor, so we call this alto choir. And so this, where in the arrangement does this go? Does this go under any other choirs? Okay, this goes before the piccolo choir. Okay, so that means head into choir, and this is going to move over a bit, like one bar. We go shift to the right, and then we take all this bass stuff, Control A to select all, and then shift right. And then we take the tenor stuff, like this in the beginning, shift I to invert the selection, and shift right to shift it all one bar to the left. The right, I mean, not left. And so for the alto choir, we're going to then paste this here. Oh, it's only, oh yeah, there we go, that's perfect. And then we say Alt-C to change it to channel 1. Nice. Cool. Okay, so then we... I can't believe that's not used. I can't believe that's not from Super Metroid. That's crazy. I swear that was like a thing in Super Metroid, that synth. Somewhere. I just have to find it. So that's just the bass choir then. Why is that playing in? Oh, it's another bass choir. Wait, no. That's just the bass choir. Why is... Oh, yeah. Oh, this is... yeah, this is a different one. Okay, so these are just different layers. This is all bass stuff. So I copy this, head to choir, and go to bass choir. And then hold shift and left. And then I'm going to send this to channel 2. But I think that's still not pointing, like the second part of that is still not pointing. Yeah, it's still pointing to piano. Here we go. Okay, cool. So that's done, and then this, there's like a few more, there's like some more tenor choir notes here. Okay, copy that, and then head into choir, and cool. Okay, so you send that to channel 2. Oh wait, but why? How can there be panning when it's all when the GBA is all mono anyway? Good thing this is a stereo patch, so I think the panning doesn't actually matter here. I don't know why that's a thing. The GBA was mono anyway. We'll just keep it as it as is. Great. So okay, nice. So now we can move on to the next thing. Okay, so we've got some interesting stuff happening here. Okay, so this is sort of like still alto range, and this is playing over. Okay. And so I think this would be happening before the other line. So let's go and try to shift everything again. Shift to the right. And I think it's 2 bars, so let's shift it 2. Select this, shift I, and shift right. And then we'll shift this to the right, 2 bars. Oh yeah, this has to be shifted 2 bars. Shift I, shift right. Okay, this has to be shifted 2 bars, and then in the alto choir, I think we paste that line. It's actually 4 bars, interesting. So let's just shift those to the right and Alt-C to change. Actually, this has to be channel 1. Shift the piccolo choir, 2 bars, 2 more bars to the right. Tenor choir, Shift I, and 2 more bars. Bass choir, Shift right twice. Okay, good. Okay, and this layer goes on top of the Okay, cool. But you have this bleed through. Well, with this note, we don't need that bleed through. We can like just add release onto that. But I suppose it actually helps to stay true to the notes. Let's see. Copy that and then go to the choir. When this was here. What range is this? This is not alto. More like baritone. Yeah, so this would have to be like a baritone sort of thing. So if we clone this tenor choir, call it baritone choir. We can then put that here. And Alt-C to change. And I think that happens at the same time as the, yeah, that happens at the same time as the, piccolo choir. So, I think we can actually just use, like, a release to do this. No, actually, I would rather use the release. So the thing is, that means we have to have the whole line as 1. Not really. I'd say it'd be better to do this, like this. Actually, this one we can keep it long. I just have to have the, these notes we can keep long. And then we can remove these notes. Yeah, E minor, alright. Oh yeah, I know what that's a reference to. That's funny. Yeah, E minor, alright. Then he just falls asleep. Welcome. Have you played Zero Mission previously? I have not played Zero Mission. I think it's as good as Super Metroid, I think. Yeah, I'll have to pick it up on my emulator. Anyway. Okay, so nothing else happening in this channel. But there is stuff happening here. This looks like more stuff for the baritone choir. Okay, so let's copy that. Looks like this part starts here. Alt-C to change. But this is a different layer, so this needs to go to channel 2. Actually, this part is part of the... This part needs to go to tenor. What are you doing, man? Sometimes this thing has a life of its own, I swear. This note needs to be shorter. Okay, so let's now turn our attention to just these two notes, really. We'll send that to the baritones. What is that? I didn't copy that. What's up with this thing not copying what I tell it to? Okay, so we head to baritones, paste that there, and then actually this might be better for the bass. This is pretty much bass range. And then it looks like these can go into the baritone choir. And this will go to channel 1. Okay, makes sense. Nice. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that channel. Now here's where that theremin type synth comes in that I was mentioning. Let's also name this synth bass for now. No, I don't know if I'm going to use that. So here, I can remove this part. Oh, it looks like it's getting louder. Like it comes in, so it has like a crescendo. Ah, I see. So at first it comes in and gets louder, and then it repeats with some velocity changes over here. So let's copy that first. Find first empty, call this alien whistle. Or pass mind or whatever. And why is that not playing? I don't know. Oh, because I disabled it. It's really quiet. First, before I go raise... Actually, I might just raise it up. Or it could be less... It could be a little quieter than that. So now I want to go and grab the rest of that loop. It's a 4-bar loop where it keeps coming in and going out. Oh, and then look, it has the loop... It has the, coming in part again. It looks like it plays for 4 bars, and then on the, like 3 times, and then on the 4th time, it splices in the part that just ramps up. Oh, this is a unique part though, so let's just take the last part of that. Okay, so it starts on this note. And then we copy this. Why did it paste all the way over there? There's no reason for that. That's dumb. I don't know, man. This thing does weird stuff all the time. Let me set that to be a bar, then shift, and just move it over there. Okay, that takes care of that. Okay, so if we then move on to next thing. This plays nothing because it's the channel 10. It should be, and if we set that to channel 12, then it plays the timpani. And the timpani pattern here is just 2 notes, but it also ramps up in velocity. So let's go and make sure we capture that. Copy, and then we'll find first empty and call this drums. And so this goes into contact, and we'll set that to channel 2. No, not channel 2. What is this? 3? Ah, yes. Nice. I like the velocity leveling. So this will take 1 bar of this, and that'll be enough to loop to this. Okay, and then paste that, and then Alt-C to change. Nice. Okay, but that has a different pitch than the one that is being played, so let's try to... I think that's right. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, and there's also something else here, which I think might be the crash. Yeah, so actually the crash would be better to put in the directly in the playlist, because we don't need to change notes. It doesn't need to change pitch or anything. And it's just a single sample. So we then want to turn our attention to the maracas. Let's take 1 bar of that. Then what do we have here? Oh, just more choir. Okay. So that does it for our drums, pretty much. So then what we'll do is put that on the end here. In the maracas line. Shift right. And then we'll put 2 more timpani, like one more bar of timpani over that so that it can play with the maracas. Okay, so enable the maracas and then... And that might be a little bit too loud, but yeah. And so these maracas need to be shorter, so what we'll do is try to just loop this part. And then we'll go and configure the out knob so that it, and also normalize it. Yeah, there we go. That makes it short enough. I think this can be a little louder too. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So the next thing is that the rest of the choir needs to come in. What are you doing, man? I didn't have that. Okay, so we just grab this line and... Oh, this one has an interesting ending. Look at that. A little bit different. So what we'll do with that is go to choir, and I think this was a baritone sort of thing. Maybe it was tenor. Yeah, I think it was tenor. Okay, and this will go to channel 3. So now the thing is that these need to be, let's see. We basically just need to repeat these again. One more time because it has a unique ending. Okay, so we select this and this. Copy and paste it again. Oh wow, but these are on top of each other now. We can't have that. Or maybe I guess, because they'll just make each other louder. Yeah, they phase each other, so we really don't want that, so let's just remove that. And this is kind of misaligned because I think it's like a different bar technically. Because this is not like the correct timing because this is the way it's encoded in the game. It's in triplets, so I think what I would have to do is like to make it right, you would have to like, no, that doesn't even make it. It doesn't even work. Interesting. Oh yeah, if you put it in steps it works, but it's still like it's not technically correct. Okay, perfect. So now I think that's really all, because the rest is just like a different, this is just the loop after that. So now we just need to put it together. Actually playing Zero Mission right now is my first Metroid game. It's the final stage, getting the last few collectibles. It's fantastic. Yes. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna put this song together. What did you do? Okay, choir first. Let's see how that rolls down. Now I want to put the MIDI above this and sequence it like that. So I think this is like Let's see. Yeah, so I think it just repeats this part, and then you have this thing here. Let's see. No, actually. Yeah, this part. And then this part repeats once. This part repeats again, and again here. Until this part there. Okay, and then this part, you make a slice here. And this part will be repeating itself there. And then you make a slice here. And this part will repeat itself. And then you have this long solo section. And then you make a half a bar here. And which is not technically a half a bar, it's technically 1 bar, but this one is written in such a way. Oh, I think it's because there's a stop here. Yeah, it's actually because there's a stop here. So this would be... don't do this. I don't want this here. Now, time signature 6/4. So you just signify a downbeat here. And then that's where the loop ends. Okay, so that's our choir line. So let's go for violas. Violas start here. And I think that'll just be a bar. Yeah, 4 violas. And then you have the synths here. Which I'll just call synth lead. Wait, what are you doing? Why did you switch what I had? This thing is crazy, man. Okay, so... Actually, doesn't that happen here? I think this happens here, yeah. Okay. And up here should be the past mine thing. So you have, let's make a slice here. You have the intro part, and then it goes into the... Okay, so I think it repeats these 2 parts. No. Nice. So let's cut this part off here. And this part we just kind of Control B, repeat. And that I think that synth can go down in volume. Nice. Okay, so we have violas, then we have synth lead, and then we have cellos. Cellos, I think, do their thing here. These do their thing here. Oh, wait. This one starts here, this one starts here. Repeats here, and here. And I think this one just keeps the same. Ah, yes, I see. Let's get the paintbrush here and just drag it here. And then you have that, and then you make a slice there. Take the pencil and then repeat that there. Okay, perfect. Now basses go here. Whoops. Nice, Doom. Okay, now drums. Start here, and then we make a cut there. And then you have one bar of just timpani, and then the rest is timpani and maracas. Control B, 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 B. Does that go all the way to the end? Oh, don't bring me the piano roll. Okay, that stops. Yeah, it goes all the way to the end, pretty much. Nice. So we just have a half of one right here. Let me make the grid a beat. Okay, good. That's past mine still sounds too loud. Okay, so then we just have crashes. Let me see if I can see those crashes. I think I see them, yeah, because there's... So let me bring in the browser again and find my crash. Take it from Donkey Kong Country 2. So there's one crash here. Let's set the snap beat to be a bar. Snap to be a bar. And let's see. Whoa. Don't do that. And so this crash is going to go on top of the drums here. So let's insert one. Crash here. And then, oh, there's a crash in the middle of the bar. Like, I guess it's technically another bar, but just make it 3-4. Even though it's not actually 3-4 or 6-4, it's 4-4. But it would stretching would be more complicated. So now we can set this as a bar again and probably be okay. No? Okay. Guess I'll just have to do it the hard way. That back since that's not helping. We have another one here, then another here. Here, there we go. Okay, let's hear the whole thing. But we still don't have that synth bass. Oh, that's way too loud. Why is that so loud? Turn it go way down. Welcome, Mateo Official. Yeah, bro, how you doing? You're offline for a while. Yeah, I pretty much come in when I have something to say. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. So the only other course of the matter is the, that synth bass. Which I'm still surprised was not in Super Metroid. I know I've heard that synth bass before. So this could it be one of the ones played in octaves? Let's see. I wanted to think it was that one Moog bass. But maybe it's a different mini Moog bass. Oh, it could be this. Don't give me that. Oh, it's not. That's not quite the same. That's interesting. I'll have to go and do some searching for that later. Because I'm not quite sure what that synth bass is doing in the... It's hard to tell from the thing, from the like game sample. And why isn't it like doing the filter motion? It's just completely ignoring the filter motion. Very interesting. There it goes. But it doesn't need to be that loud, first of all. It might be FM synthesis, and that's hard to predict, but I do think it's actually a Moog thing. Maybe try some unison. Oh, that helps, but it's not enough. Still not enough to give me that character that I need. Which I don't exactly know how he got that, so I'll have to do some research into that. Yeah, I'll have to do, because it sounds like something that would be from the Moog or the DX7 maybe. Actually, more like the Moog, but I don't know what. So I'll have to do some research into that. And so, but we'll mix the rest of the instruments, and then I'll do that other one offline. So let's I'm gonna put these in their proper order below the MIDI channels. So this will go here, maracas go here, and this choir is not being used. This will go here. This will go here. And this massive dump of choirs can just go wherever, really. Okay, so this can be removed. And then the rest is history. So let's go this synth lead thing. So let's give that saturation to simulate game compression. Nice. And let's give it a little bit of mid-level. Yeah, it had a little bit of raised mids. But it shouldn't be so loud. I also don't like that it's so heavy. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay, so now let's go for the choir. Let's give the piccolo choir a place. Let's also give the alto choir a place. Okay. So first the piccolo choir. Then we can collapse the browser at this point. So let's give that saturation. And then we'll create a reverb bus for all of this stuff. So let's dock this to the right. And we'll call it reverb. And then we will give this TSAR1R reverb and set it to a hall level. Turn the reverb mix down to about 10%. Maybe 12. 12 is fine. Give it a little bit of pre-delay. That'll be fun. And then we're gonna right-click on the piccolo choir and route this to the one track only. And it's kind of it might be peaking the highs a little bit, so let's just low pass it a little bit. And turn off the HQ function so that we can get a... And let's also remove that low-end rumble with the high pass. Okay, perfect. Now the alto choir. Going to be... Where is that? What are you doing? Alto choir is here. Okay, so let's give it saturation knob. Oh wow, that's too much. Okay, so let's give this. No, that's not. We don't give it its own reverb. Let's also assign this to the choir bus. I mean the reverb bus. And I think this can get a heavier reverb. Maybe we can go to 20%. Okay, and then the tenor choir gets saturation knob. And the alto choir, we can kind of raise some of the highs here, so that we get that nice crisp air. And then we'll do the exciter. We'll turn this down a bit. And then we'll raise this one up more because it's gotta have more of that. It's a little duller. Nice, that's much better. And then let's put an EQ on this because I want to zero in and get the fundamental frequency here. But then I think we'll have to start from the beginning too. Okay, that still checks out. I want to remove that low-end rumble. Perfect. Okay, and some of these can get stereo separation. Wait, where's the stereo separation thing? What are you doing? Why do some things just kind of disappear? Like there used to be a stereo separation knob here. Now there's not. Oh well. I think I'm gonna have to have some stereo separations here. Let's go for stereo enhancer. And then we'll go to presets and go to 4 strings. Yeah, let's do the same for this one. Make it wide. Okay, now let's go to the baritone choir. And let's see. Nice. Now let's get some more highs on that as well. Oh, I need to give all the. I need to be able to solo this, so let's just give everything a mixer track. Okay. Ah, yes, the timpani needs one. And the violas and cellos and basses will all need to be mixed separately as well. Well, let's send the timpani to plug in outs 3 and 4. And let's send the violas to 5 and 6. This one to 7 and 8. And then we'll just give that, what's our next free one? Next free one is 12, starts with 12, so let's just give everything a number going up from 12 and 13. 12, 13, no, 15. Okay, now soloing this, I can tell it's a little bit too distorted. Okay, nice. Now I definitely want stereo enhancement on this, but not too much. Because it is lower. Okay. And I do want saturation on this as well. Okay, stereo enhancer on this as well. Okay, so all the choirs together. Oh yeah, I also have to, I don't want, I'm not sure I want the bass to be there. Yeah, maybe the bass is there because it's not an electronic bass. Cool. I think the whistle could use a little more reverb. There we go. And maybe some saturation. And then we turn it back down again. Okay, now the crash will definitely get reverb. No, not that. Why is it putting it on? There. This one has to go back here, and the crash will come in soon. Yep, there we go. So that just has to get a little saturation knob. And then we should be good on that. I might need to bring the highs down because the highs might be peaking. Maybe not. Okay, now the maracas, they get saturation knob. And they also get chorus because it's a very mono sound. We don't like mono. Stereo sounds better. And we'll turn this to effect about halfway. That it's pretty subtle. But it still has that stereo goodness. Okay, so now here we have basses. And this one's pretty good as is. We just need to give it a little saturation knob. Okay, bring out all that goodness. And that's mostly it. I might want a little bit less highs on that. Yeah, mostly I don't want a lot of like that snarl on the top. Okay, so here's our timpani. Okay, so the timpani also gets chorus. Slow down the LFOs so it's more subtle, and then turn it halfway. Now, then we're going to introduce also saturation knob. Nice. I think we can turn that up a bit. There we go. Right to the point of just peaking a little bit. Let's turn up the stereo here. Nice. Okay, good. Now, the other parts of the strings. The cellos here. Let's just put saturation knob on that. And give those reverb. And also the basses we probably want to give reverb too, honestly. Because they're going to be in an orchestral setting. Now the violas. Will also get reverb. And then they'll also get saturation knob. And I also want to put an exciter on that. Nice. And it sounds plenty wide, so I don't think we need that. Nice. I think that'll do. Oh, this is the original. We don't want that. Let's disable all the MIDI channels just in case as well. Okay, I think synth. Okay, now we need to give it mastering with Maximus. So let's go to the lows, solo them. And let's set that to peak at about 6. And then let's put a compression at about here, have it start there. Well, that's pretty good levels. And now let's go to the mids, cap those at 3, and then have it start a little bit before doing some compression. Let's say it looks pretty good. Now the highs, are misbehaving. Especially when that crash comes in. Let's do the same, but have them peak at 9. And then we'll turn down the maracas. And the crash... Yeah, the crash is peaking the highs too much. Welcome, Jamie Martin. I think we're almost done here. I just have to do that synth. I'll have to do on my own time because I need to do some more research. Oh, is that just the loop? I think this is just the loop. Oh, yeah, wait, this is... I think the loop starts... Yeah. Yeah, it loops here. Okay, and then these things come in again. And so here is where it loops. Control B, and then we got that. But... Oh wait, no, we don't have to do that. That part sounds a bit loud, that... Let's give the timpani, reverb. And maybe the basses as well. Actually, no, those probably don't need it. Nor do the bass choir. Ah, the tenor choir needs it. Cool. So I think, what ending do I want for this? Let's see. I think it should definitely end like right there with that last note. So let's take this thing right here and just have that, like, we'll put a slice here, select all of this, and then we'll go panel, wait, edit, merge select clips. Oh, because it has the crash in it, that's right, just exclude that, whatever. Merge that, and then we'll just write an ending to this. For this one, we'll just give it like a long note at the end. Oh, that's a bit too, let's have this fade out. Let's stretch that. Now we can stretch it out a bit. Okay, and then we don't need this other timpani hit. Nice. Okay, we'll just have that one hit then. Nice. I like that. Okay. So, pretty much, I'll name this Kraid's Lair. Kenji Yamamoto. Okay, great. So that'll be that, and then, well, we'll call this ending. Okay, so that'll be that. How did you do that fade note? I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. So this button right here is called a slide. If you put a slide onto a note and you make it a different, like if you put a slide down and you make that a different note, like so. Hold on. And then it's going to push the note down. So basically what a slide does is changes the attributes over time. But if you put that as the same note, then you just change the velocity, and you're using an FL native plugin because it doesn't work on third-party VSTs. So it doesn't work on things like Contact or anything else. Like that will, instead of sliding it down, it's the same note, then it'll just fade it out because if you put 0 velocity here. So basically it just changes the attributes to what that note says over time until the end of the note. Nice. Okay, so that'll pretty much be that, and I'm gonna figure out that that Moog bass thing, and then I'll put this on YouTube for all to see. Yeah. All right. So yeah, and then tomorrow we'll come back with more of recreating Donkey Kong 64 in the style of Donkey Kong Country. So tune in tomorrow. Oh wait, Carlo Nassar says, welcome Carlo Nassar. How good are those dynamic plugins? What do you mean? Oh, the like Maximus. Free limiter is also awful as opposed to just any free limiter VST. I don't think free limiter is awful. I think it pretty much does what it says. It's just a simple limiter, and it's like that's all. Like, cause the limiter, free limiter is great for like if you just need to limit something and you don't need to do a lot of control over that. You know, it's I never really used any other free limiters, but I don't know what more I need except you have like the input gain, and I don't know what the saturation does, but yeah, I think this can allow you to saturate it, and then you have the ceiling, and then the attack if you need it to let something through for a second. Then you have the compression, so it has a compressor in it, and then it has side chaining, so I don't know what else, and noise gate. I don't know what else you need, but I like it. I think it works perfectly fine. But the Maximus basically just does that, but with 3 bands. So I use that for mastering so that I can manage the lows, highs, and lows, mids, and highs, and it works pretty well for me. I don't know what other people are saying about that, but I don't need anything else to be anything else than what it is. But maybe importing a MIDI through Flex is the issue. Yeah, don't import MIDI through Flex. I don't even know why they have that option, but Flex is not... I guess because they have MIDI libraries for Flex, but I don't think that's... It just doesn't really... I've never really done it, but it don't really think it works that well. Because Flex is like a CPU heavy plugin, and when I'm importing MIDI, I don't want Flex to be like... I don't want like massive amounts of Flex instances to be like maxing out my CPU, so I just don't do that. Just mess with the volume and edit events, but that's handy. Yeah, it's easier. Like you still have to mess with the volume and edit events if you're using stuff like Contact, but if you're using like synths, like native synths like Citrus or Harbor or the sound font player, then it's a nifty thing to have at your disposal. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's where I'll cut it for today, and then tomorrow we'll get with more DK64. So thanks y'all for coming to the stream, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off. Until